All right, so welcome to Sarah Homework. My name is Sarah, and today we are reviewing Mighty Ducks 2. Today I have Ben Howard with me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Ben Howard. What she said is correct.
What do you do? And also tell them how excited you are to be doing this wonderful series with me.
I'm super excited to be doing this wonderful series with you. Did you say tell them what I do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a writer, actor, stand-up comic, and just all-around movie nerd for the most part.
Yeah.
And I am super excited to be on this with you. We did Mighty Ducks a couple weeks ago, which was rad. And now we're doing Mighty Ducks 2. We're going to be doing 3 later. I'm stoked about this. This is a great trilogy. One of the great trilogies of the 90s.
Really, it really is too. And I'm very excited to deep dive into every single one of these, but this one brought so much more personality and character to the series. And speaking of characters, there's a bunch of new characters and personalities we get to know versus the old cast that comes back, who literally gets brought back with a duck call. So, and it's just weird because it's like they address it like they're like, oh, it's just this thing we've always had, guys. Like, let's use.
I know. There was no explanation. It was just, hey, remember this thing we didn't show you in the first one? Like, we all know how this works. It's cool. We totally all get it.
Right? And then it's just like all of the, like, they're just trying to establish this world of like, quack attack, let's go. And it's just like, okay, okay, we're running with it.
They went out of this rivals like on the nose references more than Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin. Like the duck pun to ice pun ratio that were in both those movies, it's close.
It is pretty close, and there's just so much like the villain is just another version of the Hawks. Yeah. Like their jerseys are the same color as the Hawks.
Okay, well, this is the era where bad guys, black outfits. That's black outfits. Good
black
guys,
outfits like, and accents.
yes, slicked back, greased hair. This is he could have either been the villain from a Mighty Ducks movie or the villain from a Die Hard movie.
Or
like,
Indiana Jones
interchangeable.
Movie. Or
yeah, they're all interchangeable.
But the comedic relief that comes with the new characters is so ridiculous because there's because each of them come from different states because they're Team USA. Like the Texas guy who said yeehaw way too many times.
Just the most stereotypical. Just like, oh, he's from Texas. He knows how to lasso. And he also brought his lasso to the ice.
Right? And it's just like, okay. And then we have like a fun Sandlot reunion where we got, the guy that doesn't know how to break.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, he's known for like being a super fast skater in this movie, and is also Benny the Jet Rodriguez in The Sandlot.
Yeah, like throw a dog a bone, and they nailed it, like for sure. And then I'm always like if you guys go back and watch the review of our first one, my favorite thing was the fact there's even girls on the ice in the first place. So I thought the goalie. Her nickname was Cat.
Julie the Cat.
Yeah, so amazing. Oh,
I have a comment on that. So remember last episode when I told you my favorite character was Hans, but it was rivaled only by that girl, Connie, on the team. I haven't seen the first one or the second one in so long. I was only thinking about the third one. I was thinking of Julie the Cat.
Yeah.
That's who I was actually thinking of, not Connie. Although they look almost identical, they could be sisters. Let's be real here. They look so close.
Pretty close. Like, and then definitely keeping with the themes of using ice skaters and bringing in Ken Wu.
Yeah, they're obsessed with figure skaters.
What is up with that? I don't even know. And
I don't know. It's the only thing hockey has that isn't hockey.
apparently, and keeping up with the theme of like, well, also creating the second part of the Bash Brothers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
good. I was waiting for them to kiss.
Yeah, I would. I would have made it that much better. Especially when they were turning out the lights to go to bed. I'm like, where is this going?
It's
But
like they
no,
tucked each other in almost. Like, good night, bro. I love you,
did.
bro.
And turned on a cover of "Ain't Seen Nothing Yet," not even the actual song. Random. I wanted their origin story to be a little bit better because, like, they clearly clashed and didn't get along at the beginning of this movie, but they clearly become the Bash Brothers. That's what you know them as if you know the franchise. But so it's like we're seeing them meet, they clash, they aren't getting along. But then, other than just a quick montage to a song that's literally called "Let's Work Together," uh, on the ice, that's when they're following the country two-step of Lasso Man, the guy from Texas.
Two-step.
Yeah, but on ice skates, set to a song, I shit you not, that is literally called "Let's Work Together." Then it's just they're friends now, and they're just the Bash Brothers, and there was no conflict back and forth, no resolution, and that pissed me off.
Speaking of that scene, that was 23. I wrote it down. 23 minutes and it was 23 minutes into the movie when he finally said the word "fun."
Oh, you were tracking the word "fun"?
Yeah, he said it 6 times in this whole movie. I thought it was going to be more, but I was just like, wow. I thought it was going to be much sooner, but yeah, it was that scene.
That's because we had to see Bombay, falling out from the fun. We had to see him go all corporate, getting schmoozed by the big time in this one.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, like,
I love how quickly the decision was made that the Ducks should just be in the Olympics.
Well, it's also like, okay, well, which we'll go into the whole like Jans versus Hans thing.
But, believe me, I have thoughts on that.
But it's like he literally just comes home with a cane and he's like all sad, and he's just like, well, like, I guess I'll just have a job with you. And then Charlie's like, no, you can't have a job here. Like I do like basically what you did when you were little, like, blah blah blah. And he's like, wait, you got paid? Like, it made me think of the meme. He's like, wait, you're getting paid? Like, oh, Charlie was just not really like in the forefront
in this movie. Like, Charlie had so little screen time in this movie. It was crazy. He had great moments, giving up his spot on the team, for Banks. Like, it was interesting. He's clearly a leader for sure, but like, he was so not in this movie.
No, the person who was in this movie more than anything, when it comes to being ridiculous, was the new sponsor. Like, Don Tibbles versus, what is it, Quackworth or something? Very different.
Yeah, Mr. Ducksworth.
Yeah, like,
I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. But it's
just that sponsor guy. I feel like fake Hans was in this movie more than Charlie was.
What is that? And like, what is all of this like comedic relief, like fighting for attention on the screen? And then it's cohesive. It works because the villain's so like serious, and there's like a really really good storyline of like selling out, like remembering your roots and everything. But
definitely
so much like going on in this like movie, and then I'm glad the kids still got to be kids and still do their pranks like they did in the first movie too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I thought, the Goldberg got a lot of screen time in this one. I loved. I'm jumping around here, but I loved the beginning. Just again, 90s when roller skating was cool. Not just roller skating, roller blading was cool. Getting the team together, just showing up at their jobs and just being like, quit on the spot. Let's go play hockey.
Yeah.
And no parents in sight to say no to that. No parents anywhere. Really. at all. Gordon Bombay basically is the foster father of all these children.
Yeah.
It was.
It's
I can't. If we're talking about the new members, Kenan Thompson.
oh yeah.
We cannot forget the longest running Saturday Night cast member to date, Kenan Thompson.
That knuckle puck
Killing it
champion.
even back then.
Yeah, for sure. Because
the knuckle puck. How many kids broke windows trying that is outnumbered. It's outmatched.
that's true. Because it's true. Like, he even quotes, he's like, well, like, it isn't 100%. Like, he was just saying, like, something about, like, his percentage of, like, oh, it's not 100%, but it definitely goes in the right. It's not accurate, yeah, but it gets the job done.
Yeah. It's not accurate, but goalies hate it, I think was the line.
Oh, yeah, and it's really, I feel like his character is what embodies, like, a big part about what makes this movie so different from the first one, is because it's hockey hitting the streets. And, yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay. I know with the current tension in this country, whatever, be damned. This is my thoughts. I'm sorry. We have a whole scene of, like, inner city black youths playing street hockey. In what universe did that happen? I'm sorry. Like, hockey is the whitest sport known to man. Like, I love that they showed it because it was a learning experience for the team.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it, but I was just like, I'm sorry, inner city kids playing hockey?
It had to be like, Olympics. What? They're excited about the Olympics, Ben.
Oh, that's true. Okay, all right. Okay.
Because,
I'm just saying.
Just normal, children.
That made me laugh.
Just sitting at home, with their American flags, being like, I'm super hyped about the Olympics this year.
That is honestly what I loved about this movie is, and these movies just in general, is the all around, this one especially, because it's about America, USA coming together. You've got these inner city kids schooling the USA team on how to play as a team and like how to get better in their game. I thought I started that as my favorite scene in the movie is that scene.
That is a good scene, yeah.
And I just think it's hilarious. They just come upon a bunch of like kids that would probably normally be playing something even in an inner city area like that. It's like basketball courts and stuff. Who has like a hockey? It's just hilarious. But I love that it's America coming together, taking down the notorious Iceland, which not a normal bad guy for a movie. But fun fact, the writer, same guy who wrote the first one, which you can tell the writing's very similar in the first one. That really didn't change. Although no cake eaters in this one.
Well, are you talking about the Hawks?
No. There's no use of the insult cake eater.
Just during the duck call.
Did they say cake eater?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was like, hey, cake eater, you want to play some hockey? And he's like, okay. And then Adam just joins him. Mm-hmm.
I missed it. How did I miss that?
But it's funny though, because that's actually one of the dumbest scenes I think ever, because they're just like, that dialogue in itself I think is very, very dumb, because you're like, they're sitting ducks. And then
duck buns.
And then on top of that, the bully goes, I love this so much.
I think my favorite part of that whole getting the crew together was when they roll up to Banks' house and he's like playing in his driveway against like a cardboard goalie, and they're like, hey, you want to play some real hockey? And it's just a close up on him. And he's like, yeah. It's my favorite.
No friends.
My favorite thing. Just like this smile, like, yeah. It's the most 90s thing. It was so fun. I love hair. I love all the hair in this movie.
It's definitely like the hair, because I love I think that's my favorite quote is John, whatever, I don't know how you're going to say his name, but other Han, brother,
I call him Fake Hans.
Fake Hans. That's my favorite quote. He's just like literally like Bombay sitting there. He's like, you 2,000 miles to make fun of my haircut. Like, it's true, and it's so funny because I love that quote so much because I love that it takes like a real like reality check for someone who has never closed shop in 10 years, 10 million years, and they close shop to make you come back to your senses. Like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, what was your favorite quote?
My favorite quote from this movie is when the tutor with the most annoying voice in the world, she's got that crazy accent going on. My favorite quote was when the tutor was out like by that lake teaching kids, like all of them about ancient Greece or whatever, and one of the Bash brothers, the original Bash brother, asks if America was the best in sports over Greece. Dumb question.
Always dominating.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my favorite quote about America being a new country. She talks about. She says, "America is still young, finding its own identity, like a teenager, a little awkward at times, but always right there on the verge of greatness." That was my favorite quote of the movie. Especially just, what the times we're living in right now. And yeah, everyone's kind of throwing shade on America right now, but you got to remember, we're still a young country. We're still in a young age of this country's development, and I think that was a good line.
It is, and with anything, I think you're always stronger together, for sure. And her as a character was always her as a character. Like, literally, my second favorite quote is like when she subs as the coach, and she's like, they look tired.
Yeah, they look tired.
They look tired, and oh my gosh! And then why? I'm sorry. Why does Bombay always have to have a love interest in every single movie so far? Why?
Okay,
like, why?
Not even. That's all it is a love interest, because this is the second movie in a row where he's been in one of these. It's like a weird almost relationship. Yeah. Like nothing really happened with Charlie's mom, even though he straight up said he wanted to move in with them. And then this one, other than a peck on the cheek, nada. Like, nothing.
What is up with that? Gosh. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but like, when it comes to, well, there were a lot of good scenes, like when she subbed for the coach, but when it comes to my favorite scene, I think it really has to come down to, I couldn't pick between two. The street hockey basics, I like that a lot because it really helped Ken Wu grow as a.
Oh yeah, love to throw the gloves shirt over the head. I like that.
Yeah, and the second one is the Texas rescue when Connie's on the ice. Yeah. I thought that was interesting because I like that she got the last word, and she was like, she was just like, I forgot what she said. She was just like, oh, I'm not a girl or something. She's like, I'm a duck, and she like pushes him back, and like, yeah, like those were my two favorite scenes for sure. What were yours?
Favorite scenes? Yeah, same first one. Yeah, the scene where they're playing street hockey with those kids when they were kind of falling apart at the seams, really. I loved that. I loved the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar cameo. That was just awesome. I haven't seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a movie since Airplane. So that was a great cameo from him there. Also, this isn't necessarily a scene as much as just something from the last movie and this movie that I miss in movies that you can't do these days, is the headline on the screen transition. When it goes to a newspaper headline.
Yeah.
Showing a story to give exposition, and now we're moving on to this. Like, you can't do that anymore in movies. You'd have to modernize that up, and it just wouldn't have the same vibe and feel as cool. And I love when movies could do that. I think that's rad.
Yeah, I did. It's a very, very old school thing. Like I'm rewatching I Love Lucy, and like the very old school like idea of like when you're just like on a green screen walking, and like you just see the different sights going past you to just show time progression, and
Yes.
like and it's like it seemed cheesy at the time, but you think about it, you're like, oh my god, it pushes the story so much to where you're like, oh,
Absolutely.
she saw the Taj Mahal and she saw blah blah blah, and she saw this, and then you're like, oh, okay, well then I understand why she's tired now. Like she's at the end of the day.
And it goes into just, at a certain point, I'm sure when they developed that idea for movies in general, it was probably just a practical problem solve. As like, well, we can't, we can't, shoot in front of the Taj Mahal, like whatever. It's the 20s or whatever. So it's like that idea, yeah, that just practical problem solving in a movie of something as simple as, yeah, walking, on a soundstage and then projected images passing by, or the newspaper headline in your face. I think that's just such a cool little subtle thing that you just don't see as much or at all these days.
Yeah, and there's also I also like, on another note, what I think this movie does really, really well um, is just really monopolize on letting the fans be a walking, talking marketing like thing for you. Like literally, like in the stands, like literally they were screaming like, we will quack you. There's like a queen, like the queen, like backed this movie. Like what is going on? Yeah, and then like the quack call at the beginning of the movie, and like just like
Yeah.
creating these fans of like this hockey. Like I'm gonna be completely honest with you, there's a lot of people probably, well, I was one of them, who was a Ducks fan before people realized it was a real hockey team. And then people would go to these Ducks games just because of the merch, just to go buy the merch. And people would go and then realize hockey was actually fun later. But it's insane how much a movie can have an impact like that on a sport and a team and help it thrive in that way, which is kind of crazy because I didn't know if it was like the opposite order where the hockey team's always been around, but it did a lot for its image because, dude, like
I'm pretty sure the Anaheim Ducks became a team after this movie, because I heard something about the executive producer financing it because he was looking to buy a hockey franchise. So I'm actually, I think, you can fact check me, but I'm pretty sure the Anaheim Ducks, the NHL team that exists today, spawned from these movies.
Which is
legendary. Because it's the exact same logo. The exact same logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Emilio Estevez should own the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, because like it's legendary. Oh my goodness. I wanted to bring up that I just love how much more, I'm gonna say the word again, fun this movie is. Like you can tell everyone's having fun in this movie. As crazy as we want to say that it's ridiculous, like the Texas character is ridiculous. He's my favorite character.
Oh, like, yeah.
Between him and, Keenan being the heckler, the Texas character is my favorite character because, as annoying as it seems, that sometimes, like, these honky-tonky characters, are very annoying sometimes, or, don't understand their, drawl or whatever, they're still a part of America. And he would bring up, lighten the mood on the team all the time. He would remind people all the time, like, hey, stop picking on that girl where we come from. Girls are supposed to be treated better. Or, and he always had this, like, light disposition.
I mean, are you forgetting the character I played that got me famous? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like, dude, honestly, would you want to tell them a little bit about Dale?
It's not much to tell. I played Dale the Dude Gibbs on the Movie Trivia Schmodown, dude. Hell yeah.
Oh my
I just
god.
listened to Christian. I just listened to Christian Harloff today on Bert Kreischer's podcast. Oddly enough.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so, and it's just, it's likable, and it's what is it? Oh my gosh, what am I? The comedic, like comedic guy who sounds like that. He's like a little overweight.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. He doesn't sound like that. Like normally. Like that's funny.
No. Yeah. It's a joke.
Totally. I'm totally.
I love that character, and there's nothing wrong with Southern people. Like,
no,
I love
them.
That's not a dumb stigma.
Part of what makes our country great, for sure. But what
Absolutely.
are your favorite characters? I said mine too.
Definitely Kenan Thompson's character. He was a great casting. I love Kenan Thompson. He's the best. Kenan Thompson and Julie the Cat. She's a badass chick. I dig her. Putting a chick as in goalie is just is really cool to me. I don't know why.
It's pretty badass.
It is pretty badass, and I definitely had a crush on her when I was a kid. When I watched these movies, yeah, she's awesome. I love Julie the Cat.
Yeah, and those characters are definitely. It's amazing that we can say that our favorite characters are new characters.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, right?
Right.
Because
that's true.
We definitely. It makes it hard for me to pick a least favorite character, but my least favorite character would probably have to be the new Bash Bro, because I feel like just that sometimes, like, I get that he, is like, crazy, unruly, and all that, but still the whole like disrespecting like women kind of thing. And I get he's young and dumb and stuff, but it definitely comes off like like we get it. You have an anger problem, your dad beats you, probably, like, we get it. It's fine. Like
I think you're gonna be changing your tune in D3.
Okay, for sure. If he gets a redemption.
I think so.
Okay, for sure.
I love him in D3.
I'm excited, definitely. There is something I did, like, because we're gonna jump into the fake Hans and Hans thing.
That's my least. To answer the least favorite character question, fake Hans.
Yeah. But I wanted to bring up that I think something that they did was really groundbreaking, was bringing up Bombay and Adam's bond over their fathers and their expectations over them.
Yeah,
because
that is cool.
I loved that moment where he sat down and he was like, I'm benching you. And you just see, like, the little bits and pieces of it in the movie about how he's just, like, worried about, like, the scouts, and then worried about his arm and pushing through it like he normally would with his last coach, and just kind of like this idea of like disappointment and not letting his dad down and not really focusing on like what he wants. And I thought it was really cool that they had that moment together, because I felt like if it had happened in the first movie, I don't think it was earned. But the second, doing it now in this movie, I thought it was very sweet, and I thought it was something that was very much needed to ground Bombay's character and bring him back to his roots and understanding not to sell out. So,
absolutely, I liked that scene too, because it could have gone a direction that is very easy for these movies, which is these kids turn on Bombay on a dime. Like, it's so funny. They see him getting ice cream with the a trainer of Iceland, and suddenly it's like, he turned our backs on his coach. Like
I don't need to tell you about life.
Yeah, they're always getting mad at Bombay just for like living his life. So this scene could have very easily gone from I'm benching you to like the kid dissing him and like giving an angry walk off. They could have gone that route, and they didn't. And yeah, there was that genuine connection, and you're right, it was a good way to go with that scene, and grounded Bombay. Like, yeah, it's a good, again, best name of a movie character ever. I will always say that. Yeah, it was a great scene. You're right.
Yeah, definitely. And I love, as much as we brought up that like Charlie didn't really get any like real screen time in this movie. I like that Charlie was the Jiminy Cricket of this movie. That
Wow.
And he just was like, well, like normally we, blah, 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 we did this as ducks. And like, Bombay was like, well, we aren't ducks. We have sponsors now. Like, we're going to be Wheaties boxes. And you just hear Charlie in the background being like, but no. And,
yeah. He's the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
He's not in it. He's not in it a lot, but every time he is, you can tell this is why this kid is the captain. This is why he's the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, and I haven't seen. Oh, well, we can here. Well, what's the cat's name again?
His name is Norman.
Norman. Well, Norman can help us because we're gonna go into grading. So,
okay.
Go ahead, Norman, and tell us what your grade is for this movie.
Oh, he gives it an F because he's a baseball fan. Bad Norman.
Oh my goodness.
So am I. But come on, Norman.
Well,
get out of here with your F. I'm sure he liked it. He was too busy ripping apart my clothes while I was watching it. I'd give this movie. I think I'm going up to. I'd say it's a solid A, not A plus, but it's an improvement from the first one, which I believe we gave an A minus, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I would say all around straight middle A. Why? I think wasn't not prepared. I would say an A because the character chemistry I think is much better in this movie. It's way more natural. Like I said, the writing is the same from the first to second. I would say it's consistent, but it's better. It's consistent in tone for sure. This movie has the same tone as the first one, but I think the writing upped its game, and better characters. Like when it's risky to introduce and recast, like to bring in new cast members. So many
characters.
I know, and to like pretty much all of them, that's unheard of. So I think they did a really good job with the writing and character chemistry. And the story. I really dug the story. USA in the Olympics, the Kid Olympics. I didn't know there were like Junior Olympics, but all right.
I didn't know that either. No, it definitely, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you with a solid A. I really liked all the new characters. I liked that everyone had their own place in the movie, and nobody really, stepped on each other's toes. And I think that even though we're going to give Bombay another chance, a 10th chance, 12th chance, whatever, he still keeps coming back and redeeming himself. So
he has disappointed those kids so many times.
Yeah, like one of my other favorite quotes is, "This isn't a hockey game; it's a circus."
Yeah,
definitely. Oh my god! But it's honestly, I'm excited to close the chapter on the second movie review, and I'm glad that these movies are staying in the realm of A's. I'm really excited for the third one. I don't know what to expect, obviously. But it's going to be a fun ride. I definitely am so thankful that you were doing these with me. Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you for having me. Seriously, I'm stoked to do it every time.
Oh my god, I have such a fun time, like deep diving into these layers and like the characters, and it's going to be so great to do the third one. Everyone tune in when I do those. I'm going to do it probably in a couple weeks, but we'll see. So this is Sarah, and I was Sarah Homework. Ben, please tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Howard Comedy. You can also check out the What a Week I'm Having podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. New episodes every Monday. It's a not safe for work podcast, a little offensive. Jump into conspiracy and whatever the hell's on my mind that week.
For sure. All right. Well, everyone have a good week. And here reminding you, stay weird. Bye-bye.